Welcome to Big D's Beer of the Week.
Woohoo!
Maybe it's the beer talking, Marge, but you got a butt that won't quit.
And now to tell you about this week's beer, it's Big D.
Beer.
All right, hello and welcome to this week's Beer of the Week podcast. I am your host, Big D. And for those of you just tuning into the podcast, a little bit about what we do here, or what I do here. Every week I pick a different beer and I taste it on the air and I tell you what I think about it, give you some of the flavors that I taste, give you a little bit of history about the beer in question. Mainly, I just want to educate everybody out there who's not really a big beer drinker, or if you are a big beer drinker, try and introduce you to some new beers that you haven't tried. There's so many different types of beer out there now, around the world, and even locally with the new microbrews that are exploding all over the place. But I just want everybody to try different beers. Everybody kind of gets hooked on one beer, it seems like. Even me, I consider myself a beer connoisseur, but I always go back to my favorites, which there's a couple that I go back to all the time, and everybody has their own beer. But I want to get you guys out there and want you to try different things and experience all the flavors that are out there in the beer world. There's so many different types of beers, whether it's, a lager, an ale, even in the ales, there's pale ale, there's, India pale ales, there's all sorts of things, porters, lagers, but, a few of my favorites, I love a good porter. I'm a big stout kind of guy, oatmeal stouts. I love, if there's an oatmeal stout I haven't tried, I always have to try it because that's definitely one of my favorites. But as I was saying, let's get into this week's beer. This week, one of my all-time favorites is a beer called Smithwick's. Now, it's an Irish red amber ale. It's made and produced in Ireland by the people that make Guinness. Now, Smithwick's is, if you're looking for it on the shelf, it's not spelled the way it sounds. If you look at it, it's spelled Smithwick's, Smithwicks. But anybody who is a Smithwick's fan or an Irish kind of guy knows if you order a Smithwick's, people are gonna look at you funny. It's a Smithwick's, and you definitely want to order it that way. Now, Smithwick's is one of the oldest brewers in the world. Smithwick's has been being brewed for over 300 years. Can you imagine that? And it's a great beer. One of my all-time favorites. As like I said before, everybody has their favorites to go back to. I always have to go back for a Smithwick's. If it's St. Patrick's Day, you're going to find me drinking Smithwick's. I have a Guinness here and there, but I'm a big Smithwick's guy. So, Smithwick's is, like I said, it's a Irish red ale. 4 main ingredients in it are malt, yeast, water, and hops, which mainly for most beers are. It was first brewed as a specialty brew for the first Kilkenny Beer Festival in Ireland, and that was around 300 years ago. It was founded in 1710 and brewed in St. Francis Abbey in Kilkenny, Ireland. It's Ireland's oldest brewery and one of the oldest breweries in the country, so you know how old that is. But we're going to get into it, and I am going to taste a beer here shortly and tell you what I think about it, give you some of the flavors I taste, and give you a general description of the beer. So stick around.